If you accidentally violated the rules of a possessed party favor, allowing ghosts to infest your life and the lives of those around you, what would you do? Some people are just born unlucky, like the poor psychic whose hand became a doorway to the after, where the most desperate, disgusting, and bored spirits wait for living people to invite them in. Turns out, having an open line of communication with all the sickos who ever died isn't a good time. So, the hand had to go to someone so strapped for human connection, they'll take it from anyone, anywhere, including the things that go bump in the night, and like to knock on wood using a 13-year-old's face. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the cursed hand in Talk to Me. In the land of the Upside Down, also known as Australia, a raging party is out of control when a guy named Cole arrives on a mission. His younger brother, Duckett, has locked himself in an upstairs bedroom. When he won't come to the door, Cole Hulk smashes through, but Duckett's only barely responsive. He claims their dad says Cole is going to hurt people. Cole reminds him their dad is dead. Duckett doubles down, eyeing Cole like a stranger and whispering, "You're not him." Cole drags him from the room, where teenagers wait to video record Duckett's spiral. Cole's big brother Gene kicks in. He tries to intimidate them into shutting off their phones, but it only blinds them to the real danger in the room. Across town, Mia is odd woman out at her own mother's 2-year-old memorial following her passing. The circumstances of her mom's death were Eminem level shady and have left her depressed and distant from her dad. At least she has her friends. Well, not really. She's sorta third-wheeling there too. She's emotionally unpredictable and people treat her like the last kid to get picked for kickball. Everyone except for Riley, her best friend Jade's little brother. He looks up to Mia and kind of has to since his bullshit family relies on her to drive him around and help him do his homework. I get it, she's family when she does stuff for you, but when she becomes even the least bit messy or complicated, she gets downgraded to weird clinger you tolerate. This cycle fuels her desperate desire for connection, making her a terminal people pleaser. Except when it comes to death. While driving Riley home, they encounter a dying kangaroo on the road. Riley berates Mia to put it out of its misery, but she can't and drives away instead, listening to its pained growling as she goes. Nerds, this is your last reminder that you have between now through September 30th, 2023 to enter into the Ridges Hennessy sweepstake for a chance to win a brand new Ford Bronco Velociraptor or $75,000 in cash. Your next Ridge wallet order might come with the addition of that new Hennessy Bronco Velociraptor. Without spending $1, you can enter on their website for the chance to win. You get one bonus entry for every $1 you spend on the site, and custom Hennessy products come with up to 1,000 entries. Check this Hennessy Ridge wallet and key case out. A badass design with all the slim 12 card holding goodness you know. Not a fan of stripes? They've got tons of awesome colors to choose from to match your car setup. Very important. With over 80,000 5-star reviews, the Ridge has clearly created a solid wallet. The Ridge team is so confident you'll like it that they'll let you test drive it for 99 days. Not the Velociraptor, the wallet. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it. Go to ridge.com/nerdexplains. Get 10 bonus entries and use my code NerdExplains to get 10% off the Ridge's new smart wallets. Thanks Ridge for sponsoring this video. At Jade's house, Mia indulges in a little roleplay as a normal teenager. She guilt trips Jade into going to a party later, actually volunteers to help her with housework, and gets some vicarious mom bonding with Sue. They don't deserve you, Mia. Of course, the banality of it all is just lip service to the real freaky shit she actually wants to do. The entire teenage population of Adelaide has been posting unmonetizable TikToks of kids going full Jaws in each other's basements. Mia's frenemies, Haley and Joss, have gotten their hands on something guaranteed to turn even the lamest basement party into a drop-dead banger. It's an actual preserved hand. Allegedly, it belonged to a medium who may or may not have chopped it off while she was still alive. Another story says it's the hand of a Satanist, and his other one is just out there wandering, like the Thing from the Addams Family. Whichever's the case, everyone wants a go. Haley and Joss say there are only 2 rules for using the hand, and both are admirably straightforward. 1, light a candle to open the door. Blow it out to close it. 2, Don't keep the connection open longer than 90 seconds, otherwise they will want to stay. I'd love to see the trial runs that went into figuring out these rules. Of course, Mia's the first to volunteer of the evening, because that's the only reason she came. It certainly wasn't to hang around a bunch of people who treat her like Typhoid Mary. Josh straps her to a chair as Haley sets out the hand and lights the candle. They tell her to take hold of the hand and say, "Talk to me."
Talk to me.
Mia tells the others what she saw. Haley and Joss think it's hilarious. Jade not only doesn't believe her, but basically implies she's a coward for overacting when nothing's happening. Mia grabs the hand again and a new ghost appears.
Talk to me.
Haley tells her the next step. She has to say, "I let you in."
I let you in.
The 90-second countdown begins as the squelching, fetid, putrefied ghost possesses Mia's body. Her voice changes, her eyes go black, and she zeroes in on Riley like a seagull with a french fry. She says he likes Riley. The door opens and slams, and the ghost warns the one who wants Riley is there and wants to split him. Something tells me that isn't a euphemism. Haley says it's been 83 seconds, and Josh goes to take the hand from her, but the ghost won't let go. It takes 3 people's full strength to pull it from her grasp. By the time they blow out the candle, she's gone 7 seconds over the limit, and Mia's hooked. When Riley asks later, she tells him she was like a passenger in her own body, and she experienced a heightened version of all of her senses. He asks her about her mom, and we learn that she accidentally took too many sleeping pills while in the bathroom until she couldn't call them for help. Mia tells him not to worry. She doesn't feel alone anymore. And you never will, Mia. Jade invites Haley and the hand over to her house because her boyfriend Daniel wants a go. They strap him to a flimsy elementary school chair, and the festivities begin.
Talk to me.
Where Mia got the water ghost, Daniel gets Casper the ghost. He tells his girlfriend Jade that Daniel is physically repulsed by her, right before slamming Daniel to the ground and having its way with him and the family dog. Awkward, but not awkward enough to stop the round-robin possessathon from beginning, as all the teens take turn after turn. Not gonna lie, this starts to seem crazy fun. And of course, since this entire thing is an allegory for drugs, it's supposed to. After hours of watching, Riley wants to have a go. Mia says he should be allowed, even trying to negotiate for a 60-second limit. But that forces Jade, the only teen who hasn't done it at all, to put her foot down, limply, like it's sprained. She embarrasses Riley in front of the group, then stalks off when others make fun of her. Is it easier to watch him from over there, Jade? I'm sure you won't regret leaving him in here. Of course, with her gone, he pleads with Mia for 60 seconds, then emotionally manipulates her into letting him go. When his turn begins and a ghost appears, he doesn't look scared like the others did. He looks sad. He lets the spirit in, and a voice crawls out of Riley's mouth. It's Mia's mom, begging her to forgive her. Haley calls time, but Mia just can't let her mom go. She physically keeps Riley attached to the hand while they talk. The time limit runs out, and Riley begins to spasm, right before inviting his face to a spontaneous karate lesson. Blood gushes from a deep head wound, made deeper and deeper each time he splits it on the desk. Then, he claws into his own face to pull out his own eyeball. Mia tries to stop him, but the ghost is too strong. Jade enters as Riley's flimsy-ass chair, yeets him across the room, and the ghost continues brutalizing him. His head rears back for one last skull-crushing impact. But he's saved by Jade's quick thinking. They finally get the hand away from him and call an ambulance, going 0 for 2 on the rules when they leave the candle burning on the table. Jade stumbles upstairs in shock and sees her mother's ghost through the clouded back door. At home, Jade refuses to tell her dad what happened and hurries upstairs to hide the special party favor she's brought home with her. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what it could be. To her credit, Mia heads to the hospital first to check on Riley. But of course, now that she's become messy, her relationship with Sue and Jade collapses like a card tower, and both tell her to leave. Amazing how you're family until it's inconvenient. Now vulnerable, Mia spots her mother's ghost and follows it into a partially flooded bathroom, where it slams the door and forces her to relive the worst night of her life for shits and giggles. Daniel tries to ask her what's wrong, but she never tells him what she saw. Instead, she invites him back to her place so they don't have to be alone. Daniel warns her he doesn't think Riley Riley really saw her mom. No Sherlock, hasn't anyone noticed the tonal pattern of all these spirits? You guys just went 20 rounds with that hand, and they all seem skeevy as hell. Like they've all lost their humanity. They're desperate for connection, and desperate people do desperate things. Mia insists it must have been her mom in the beginning, because she called her by her nickname. But Daniel points out that when the spirits possessed them, they gain access to their thoughts and memories. We saw this during Daniel's first session, when it targeted Jade's deepest fears about him. This means, if it wasn't already obvious, that we can't trust anything the ghosts say. Google check or it's not real, no matter how badly we want to believe what they say. In the night, Mia's woken from a nightmare to a ghost in her room. Mia doesn't recognize her, but she looks like a less putrid version of Mia's original drowning ghost. Her hair is moist and plastered to her face, and her puffy face is distended like she spent time in water. Someone go check Tarantino's pond for dead bodies. This freak gets straight to the foot stuff, sucking on 3 of Daniel's little piggies, like she gets days off for good performance. Mia screams at Daniel to wake up. He finds Mia getting frisky with his feet when he opens his eyes. Daniel bolts, leaving her to punish herself. Then she uses the hand on her own to summon her mother. And wouldn't you know it, she shows up immediately. Curiously, she seems to be kind of moist and sweaty, and her right eye is blind, just like a certain drowned ghost we've seen before. Oh, and there's a lovely squelching underwater sound accompanying her now. Mia asks if she herself. Her quote-unquote mom says no, of course not. She says she never wants to leave her, then tells her that Riley needs her help right before curling up with her, giving Mia all the affection she's been desperately craving since her mom died. Don't let it go to your head, Mia. Yeah, she's already a goner. At the hospital, Sue and Jade give Riley a sponge bath. Little guy's definitely seen better days, but he's still got some bite to him. After, Mia tells the others she's seeing the ghost without the hand. Josh and Haley begrudgingly admit they got the hand off Duckett, who claimed he could talk to ghosts without it before he stabbed himself. He also warned that the ghosts can imitate people, but Mia ignores that part. Of course, unfortunately for Mia, she's fifth wheeling here, and none of these 4 put together the pieces of this puzzle for her. I'm just saying, if I did this with my friends, and one of them suddenly started experiencing the same things as a guy who recently stabbed someone and then unalived himself, I'd be paying way more attention to their situation. The group goes to meet with Cole, who says his brother used the hand too much because he thought the people who got him hooked on it were his friends. Who's over here holding up a mirror to Mia's situation? Mia tells him that it's happening again, and Cole says if his brother had just stopped using, eventually the spirits would have weakened and Duckett's body would have kicked him out. He tells them that'll happen to Riley, but Jade says it hasn't yet. Riley's been injured all of 2 days, dipshit. Be patient. But also, there's no way Cole knows this for sure, unless he has extensive experience with this hand that we just never saw. We need to pepper him with questions. Ask what happened to Duckett. Which ghost drove him to unalive? What did he say before he died? Ask Cole if he's used the hand. And for the numbers of people who used with Duckett. Then expand the circle. Who did Duckett get the hand from? Call and see if anything happened to that group, and so on. With so many people recording on their phones during these sessions, there is no way there isn't a database of this stuff by now. Even Duckett's unalive was recorded, yet no one ever looks it up. The point is, research and listen. Gather information and incorporate new data as we learn it. Mia's screwed here for a couple of reasons. The first is that she doesn't listen. 4 people now have told her things that imply she is in danger, but she's ignoring them. The second is that she doesn't have any real friends. Like with substance issues, it sometimes takes an outside voice of reason to give the addict the help they can't get for themselves. Mia's screwed because she cares way more about her friends than they do about her. None of them notice she is spiraling and try to save her, and Mia's too focused on making amends for Riley to notice all the very obvious ways that she's being manipulated, just like Duckett was. Instead, the teens blame Mia for Riley, and Jay tells Mia she is a burden on her family. It breaks Mia's heart and compels her to risk her own life again to save Riley. Riley is a concern, but so is her own mental health. We are absolutely responsible for Riley's accident, but we can't help anybody if we're goners ourselves. Our friends know we've been over the limit, and we're seeing things without the hand, and that this pattern matches Duckett's, but not a single one has shown any concern for us whatsoever. As for our dad, I know we're blowing him off, but he's already lost a wife to abuse. He should be overwatchful of our erratic behavior, and the second we watch a kid bash his brains out, he should be forcing us to go to therapy. Instead, he's talking to us at his own convenience, which is a bad thing. Whether it's paranormal or as a drug allegory, Mia needs an intervention to go through withdrawal. Easier said than done, which is why both are usually forced on people by people who love them. Jade or Mia's dad would be ideal candidates to run the intervention, as neither has participated themselves. They need to lock her in a room and wait for the sickness to leach out of her. We don't know that will work, but better friends would have recognized the warning signs earlier. Once Mia told us that she was seeing ghosts without the hand, something which also happened to Duckett, it's time to confine her and see if the ghost withdraws. Now overwhelmed with guilt, Mia says they never blew out the candle after Riley's session, so maybe they need to run another and blow it out. Not the worst idea, it does make some sense, but our candle was blown out when our first session overran the time limit, and ghosts are still coming around, so it's probably not gonna help. Even if we do attempt this, someone else should do it, not just to protect us, but also to protect Riley, to go through the ritual mechanically with zero emotion and get out. We need a heavy chair, maybe even one that's bolted down, and heavy straps to tie down both their arms, so they can't fight back when we take the hand from them. We need 4 people, 1 to let a ghost in, and 3 to pull the hand out of the possessed person's grasp. And we're not doing another 90 seconds, we're doing 5 seconds. Absorb, expel, blow the candle out. If it works at all, 5 seconds should be more than enough. If it doesn't, we didn't give any ghosts long enough to get their claws in us. Instead, Mia, Jade, and Daniel go to the hospital when Sue's not around. They light the candle and make Riley hold the cursed hand, but he can't verbally let anyone in, so the ritual doesn't work. So, Mia offers to do it to try and speak to Riley's spirit. Jade and Daniel do a Willy Wonka warning, and she ignores them. How about you two take the hand from her? Why are you both so willing to sacrifice Mia? You've known her your entire lives. You guess the friendship is dead. She lights the candle and says, "Riley, talk to me." Just like when she specifically called to her mother and her mom appeared. A little girl appears. If we were of sound mind and paying attention, this would be a huge red flag regarding whether our ghost is really our mom or not. She talks to the little girl and asks where Riley is.
I let you in.
Whoa, I did not see it working both ways, which calls into question all the rules we've heard to this point. It does help explain why that medium chopped this cursed hand off. Imagine that thing being attached to your body and going around all day having ghosts walk in and out of you like a public toilet. Also, I'm getting serious Event Horizon PTSD from this flash of the afterplace. Is this or is this the after? Just sloppy like that. Also, we've watched and done this ritual many times. We know these desperate ghosts delight in tormenting people. So again, wash your thoughts with bleach and accept this for what it is. A nightmarish fantasy. Completely unreal. A tool that they're using to get what they want. At home, Mia's dad chooses today of all days to reveal that Mia's mom intentionally unalived herself and reads her note aloud to Mia. Sir, your daughter just watched a kid break his face on a table. Talk about terrible timing. Book a therapist and let her read the letter there with someone on hand to talk her through it. In her bedroom, her ghost mom warns her that not only is he lying, but he's also not actually her father. It's another ghost pretending to be him. Someone who sounds like her dad begins pounding on the door, and Ghost Mom warns he's coming in here to hurt her. Her paranoia spikes, even though we see that Max is still in the living room. Her mom whispers more poison and switches the subject. She says that Riley's hurting and needs to die to be free. Suddenly, a ghoulish version of her dad breaks in and attacks her while her real father tries to break down the door. The ghoul gets her on the ground and chokes her, just as her real dad enters. Now, you all know how I feel about delusions and my how to beat for Malum. I told you the only way to extract yourself from malevolent visions is to render them logically impossible. Basically, snap yourself out of them with a combination of physical stimuli, like zapping yourself with a taser or popping an ice cube in your mouth, along with physically going where the visions can't be used against you. I still think that would work here. Mom is saying Dad is evil. Crawl out the window and leave. Go somewhere he can't follow, which is literally anywhere he wouldn't know to look for you. Then if he shows up, you'll know it's not really him. Here, of course, the ghost is making her think her dad is physically attacking her. Unfortunately, she's lost all logical thinking at this point and can't ask the relevant question. If this is a ghost in control of our dad, why isn't our devoted ghost mom trying to stop him? This may seem silly, but it's not. It's the only other way to beat these ghosts at their own game, especially when we have terrible, useless friends. To beat the ghosts, we have to oversaturate on them. There's a comedian named Jessa Reed who talks about her own real battle against addiction in a comedy show. She weaned herself off Walter White's blue stuff by drinking her own oversaturated urine. I'm not gonna go into details, but essentially, it stopped her from doing the actual hard stuff. Eventually, the violent need to indulge faded, and without the addiction to it, she stopped cold turkey. So, to bring that back around, Mia is currently at the ghost's mercy, entirely addicted to and scared of them. She needs to flip that script and stop reacting. Let them talk our ears off, and let it roll off our backs like water. Grow a thick skin, desensitized to their presence. However you want to phrase it, make it very clear to them that they can tell and show you literally anything, and you're not gonna lift a finger. Again, easier said than done, but so's beating addiction, and people do that every day. Bonus, it might be torture for the ghost to feel that impotent. Mia calls Jade. Jade has some happy news. Riley woke up acting like himself again for a bit. Mia doesn't believe her. She tells Jade to come over so she can show her how to save him. But Mia's really outside the hospital, waiting for Jade to drive away. She slips into Riley's room to finish him when Sue interrupts. She apologizes for alienating Mia, now that she knows there were no drugs in Riley's system. A little late for that, you fair weather flake. Mia asks for a moment alone with Riley, but the second Sue is gone, she sees the ghost inside Riley's body. At Mia's house, Jade enters to find her dad badly weakened from the stabbing wound, but still alive. At the hospital, Mia rears back with the scissors to kill Riley, but she can't do it. She sees a hallucination of the roadkill kangaroo bleeding and realizes how to kill him without as much guilt. Jade calls Sue to warn her that Mia's a threat to Riley, but it's too late. Jade arrives to see Mia already wheeling him over to a highway incline. Mia perches him by a busy freeway, just as the ghost that is definitely not her mom whispers more poison.
I'm so proud of you.
Only, it's the wrong poison. Mom says she'll take care of Riley forever, but that is exactly what Mia wants for herself. It was Mia who threw herself off. She wakes with one hell of a case of road rash on her face. Riley is still alive in Jade's arms. Mia turns and suddenly appears in the hospital, where she sees Riley leaving with his family and her dad leaving too. You can't hear her when she calls out. The lights flicker out one by one as she chases him, until she's lost in the dark. Candlelight illuminates the darkness. Mia finds a hand hovering over the flame. She grabs it, appearing suddenly before a party of French people using the cursed hand for their own sessions with the dead, and Mia's on the other side of that table now. Escaping this cycle of addiction is a matter of having real friends who can intervene on your behalf, or being self-disciplined enough to beat them at their own game. Mia's friends were dog shit. She deserved better. But for anyone with even one good friend or parent, someone's calling in professional help the second we tell them the weird shit we're experiencing. For those of us without that friend web, you gotta recognize you're in danger, break your illogical spiral, and bear the torture until the ghosts lose all power over you, and maybe just don't have anything to do with some ghost hand in the first place. For those reasons, I think Talk to Me remains unbeaten for Mia. Moral of the story, be careful what doors you open.